Hello everyone, and thank you for coming here to watch my YouTube video on as a follow-up for the session at the IECT conference using video hosting sites for classroom instruction, supplement to classroom instruction. So what we're going to look at here is some of the things I didn't really get to, and maybe go back over and review, because honestly 45 minutes wasn't really enough time to show you everything that you needed to show, and I thought too that I could just send you the slideshow that I presented, but that's not going to help you too much. So what I wanted to include as well is this video on actually using it, so if you are sitting in front of me, you can see me actually doing it. So we're looking at the ShareX software that I like to use, since it's pretty simple in some ways and can be very complex in others. But the most important thing is it's free and it does everything you want it without any restriction that I've found. So here at the top of the screen in the capture menu is where you're going to find your capture tools for what's on your screen. You can capture the monitors, you can capture a region, you can capture do an animated GIF of something on your screen. To do a screencast that you would put on YouTube, it would definitely be the screen recording. So there's lots of different options on here, some of which I've never used, but you can try it out yourself. So if we go and we click on screen recording, we end up seeing what you're seeing right now. It's going to ask you what part of the screen you want to record, so you just tell it what portion, so an entire screen, a part of a screen, whatever you'd like. Things that you'll want to set up is in the application settings. What you'll want to make sure you set up especially is the paths menu right here where it has the custom screenshots folder. You'll want to have a spot for your videos to go, and so you can designate a spot for it. I save everything to my Google Drive so it backs up and I can access those videos anywhere. If I can't get to the videos right away, I use my Google Drive for that, so then I can go from there and upload videos. So I have everything in one spot. Most of this other stuff you shouldn't have to mess with too much. That was the one that I really saw needs to get adjusted on here. The rest of this is pretty much just basic settings, especially here in this general menu. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you was here in the paths. The other thing you can set up is the hotkey settings. So instead of having to go in the menu here and change things, you can go just press some buttons on the keyboard and you can set those to start capturing or stop capturing. So for me, I have certain hotkeys set for certain things, and so for me to start recording, I press the Alt key and the question mark key, and it'll start recording, asking what region I want to record first, and then start recording. So that's something else you'd want to probably change, because it makes life much easier when you can use keyboard commands instead of mousing through all the menus and then getting to what you need to get to. So that's something you'd want to set up before you actually start to record. So once we have that set up, basically you're ready to go with recording. You're more than welcome to mess around with different settings and see, but that's the basics of getting up and started with the ShareX and start screencasting something. Just make sure you have a mic that works, because it is going to capture your sound. So you might need to mess with that a little bit, recording. And so we're going to go ahead and minimize that. So once you have that set, then you're ready to go. So what I wanted to look at next was my YouTube channel. So I kind of showed you that a little bit, went through some things, and I think I want to go through and show you some additional things here, as well as cover that previous content at the presentation. So if you have a Google account, you already have YouTube. So if you open up, and I'll open up my Drive here, when you log into your Google account, if you go to your Google Apps button, you have a link to YouTube that will take you to your YouTube account. And if you don't have one set up, you can set up one. So you can have multiple accounts. Like I mentioned at the conference, it's probably just better to have one account and have different playlists of things rather than have different accounts for your different classes. So you can do it either way. I just prefer to have one account, which is my Clark Tech Ed account, and then I don't have to go between different accounts. Everything's in one place. So if we go here, I just clicked on my channel. Um, we have some different buttons up here that we can look at. We can look at all the videos I have uploaded. So if I go to videos, I can see all the videos that I have in any of my playlists. So that's useful if I want to pick out certain ones and see them all. And so if you can't find one, you can go to your videos and you can go search through these and you can try to find the one that you're looking for. If you're looking for a specific one, you know it's named, you can click that little magnifying glass and you can search the channel and try to find the video that you're interested in if you know the name of it. So that's where all your videos are located, and you can sort those by different options here and change the viewing to grid or list. So you can change that. So that's pretty simple. The playlists are where kind of the magic happens here to organizing stuff. So I teach technology, specifically Project Lead the Way for my 7th and 8th grade, and my 6th grade does some different things in the class. And so what I've done is I've created a playlist for all the different topics that they're going to be learning. So like my 7th grade is design and modeling, so I have different playlists for the different units that they're learning. So like I have a unit 1.1, what is engineering, for my design and modeling class, so I labeled it DM. So anything labeled DM deals with my 7th grade. And then AR is going to be my 8th grade class, my automation robotics class. And then I have other things in here for other projects. And then I even have videos for substitutes. So then I don't have to have the videos, actual DVD. So if I could find a video out there for my sub to use, and it makes it easier for me because I can get to it. I don't need a disc. I don't need to worry about any of that. So if you have a projector in your room and you can project the video in front of the room, or even if you have a computer lab, you can have the students log on and get to these videos. So I have a whole bunch of playlists and videos, and it shows how many videos are in each playlist. To make a new playlist, you can click New Playlist. You can add a title, and we can put a new playlist in. And we can either tell it to be public, which everyone can see, unlisted. You have to have the link to be able to get to it. And private means only you can see it. So my videos I leave public, so anyone can search for them and find them. So we can make a new playlist, and when I make a new playlist, no videos in here, so I can go and I can add videos. We can change the playlist settings, so any of the videos in this setting, in this case, will be public. I can manually order those, and we can have different settings to automatically order. We can automatically add videos of certain types. I usually don't use that. I add in the videos I want. So I just leave that alone. I just basically make sure that it's public and that it's manual here, and that allow embeddings. So if I need to use one of my LMS or somewhere else I need to put the video, I can put it there. So that's your playlist settings. And if you ever need to delete a playlist for some reason, and you don't like what you have, you can delete the playlist, which does not delete the videos in the playlist. It just deletes that grouping. It's like having a folder with papers in it. You just throw away the folder, but you keep the papers in it, kind of deal. So we can add videos. So if we go to add videos, we can either search for videos, just like you're doing a Google search. You can search for videos. If you know the URL to a video here on YouTube, you can add that. Or you can search for your YouTube videos and select from those and pick out the ones you want to add to this playlist. I usually don't do it this way because you end up with a lot of videos. It sometimes can be hard to find that exact one. So I usually don't do it this way. I usually go through and watch the actual video, and there's an option to put it on a certain playlist from there. But that is one way. So usually more than one way to do things. Here you can add a description of that playlist so that when people view the playlist, they know what kind of all the videos are going to be about. So it kind of makes it a little easier for them to judge whether it's what they want to view or not. And since for students, you're probably going to put something generic in there, more to remind you than the students, depending on what you're using it for. But I put something in there just to be very clear what it is for everyone. So we can have our playlist made. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go check out one of mine that's already have things in it, because it makes it much easier when you actually have a video playlist with things in it. So my playlist description right here, I put down what the videos in this list are. So I populated this with things that go with this unit, and in this, I don't have any notes off to the side. I didn't put notes on this one. One thing I'll point out is if you are using somebody else's videos and they make it private, they'll go away and you can't view them. So I had some different PBS videos on here that they made private, so you can't see them anymore. So that's one thing about using somebody else's videos that could be a problem, is that if they make them private, delete them, then you don't have access to them anymore unless you save them to your machine and archive them. Then they're pretty much gone unless they bring them back for some reason. So let me go find another playlist here. I know I have some stuff. Description. Okay, so for my design and modeling class, my 1.5 unit, over here on the side you can add notes in. So each video can have its own notes, and that you manually add in, and you can add those in for any video that you add to this list. So if you go here to more, you can add edit notes, and you can add that little notes. Like about, I think the max is 2 lines that you can add to this. So you can't have it be very lengthy. It's just there to kind of tell people what that's going to be in the video, and quick to the point. On this playlist, I have it set to manual, and I like that because then I can have people go through, and when they watch the playlist, like you can have them watch a full playlist, then it'll go in chronological order, the order I put this in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the order that it's labeled as. So we could sort these, so I can just drag and drop that and put it in the right place. So I can drag and drop and order those just depending on my playlist settings. So I could make it so that by the date added, so the newest one, I could do that. But I prefer manual, so I put it in exact order. So then when you watch the videos, they will play in order, so that when somebody views it, they'll see over here on the side that playlist of all the videos in the playlist. So then they can watch them all if they need to. If it's several shorter videos that you broke up, then they'll go in order, and it makes a little bit more sense. So how you record the videos, I could very well make this video into separate videos and have it separate on different on the playlists, but I could just have one big long video and leave it at that. It just depends on how you want to set up things, really. Just like an assignment, you can have one big assignment or break it up into smaller chunks. Kind of the same thing here. So while we're on this video, you can see me demonstrating here to students how to draw some different things on using the coordinate system. So if I find a video, let's say I search for a video and I want to add it to my playlist, what I like to do is, while I'm watching videos on YouTube and trying to find something that I can add to my list for later, if you click this Add To button, it'll list all of your playlists, and you can tell which playlists that you want it to be added to, or you can make a new playlist for it to get added to. What I like to do is I like to usually just check off one. You can check off multiple, so if you have like maybe playlists made for 2 different classes, you can maybe check it off for both classes. So you can put it in the playlist that you want. That is probably the easier way of doing things than the other way that I was showing you when you were in the playlist and videos trying to trying to find a place to put those. So definitely when you're looking for videos that other people have made that you search for, this is the easiest way I think to put it in, put the video in that playlist. So when I made my whole channel, um, just so people know, because I don't have any sort of comments or likes or dislikes enabled. Um, Basically, that's in your account settings. That's what I just clicked on. If you didn't notice uh, what I clicked on before, let's see if I can get that back up. Sometimes it cooperates, and other times it doesn't when it wants to go to whatever. So I clicked on the account settings. It was right there on the video. To get to the screen, you can also get to it through here, through my YouTube settings, and I'll bring you back to this sort of screen here. And I want to go into the channel, and I can change some different things here. So when I go and I set up my account, the upload defaults, I don't allow comments because I don't want comments on any of the videos. I can have it so that they can't put anything. I don't need students being able to make any comments. It's not there for social platforms, so I don't allow them to do that. I make sure that my whole everything on my videos is public. It's for education. Use a standard YouTube license because I created it, so I just stick with that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have set on mine. A lot of this stuff is if you want to make money and you want to brand your videos. That's not stuff I really worry about. And the advanced, I don't think there's anything I really put. On here I put do not display number of people subscribed to my channel. I don't really care about who's subscribed to my channel. If they want to keep up with what I'm doing, that's fine. Other teachers, but as far as students, I can really care less. This is not here for popularity purposes. So I have that there for us to look at. So you can go through and change those settings. Those are the major ones that I have to change. So let's go ahead and go back to my channel here and go back to my playlists. Okay, so I have a video of mine up on the screen, and what you'll want to do here is you can click on this info and settings button, little pencil, and you can go in and you can change the settings for this particular video. So I can change the name of the video, I can change the sharing settings, I can change the description. So I can type a little blurb there about what the video is. What's a real helpful tool if you have a longer video or specific things in the video you want somebody to be able to get to, you can do what's called a timestamp in the description box here. And to do that, very simply, you just type in the time that an event occurs and then the description, which is optional, but if you want to have somebody know what that event is, you'd want to put a description. And the key is to make sure you put the time the same as what shows on the YouTube video as you're watching it. So notice that there's a 0 for minutes and then you have your seconds. You want to make sure you put that 0 in if it's less than 1 minute, or else it won't work. You'll say, no, it doesn't work, it's not clicking. So once we click that, we go back into the video. It'll have those numbers blue. So as soon as I click on it, well, for me, it's not going to take it to 10 seconds because I'm the owner, but maybe it did. Yeah, it did. Okay. It'll take you to the 10-second mark. So when I clicked on it here, it thought I wanted to edit that 10 seconds, but when you're just viewing it, it'll just bring it to the 10-second mark, or whatever time you have. So if it doesn't show up in blue, make sure you typed it in with the minute and seconds here for the timestamp, so it knows that's what you want to do. Okay, other things with the videos. You can do enhancements, you can do audio changes and things like that. One of the things that might be useful is the annotation. So before I go and do that, and I forget, I'm going to delete these, get rid of these descriptions, and then I'll go ahead and do the annotation. Annotation is just to add those notes that are on top of your video, which can be useful if your video changes and you go in and you change some things, but you don't want to make a whole new video, or you want special things noted in the video. For instance, like I have a piece of paper here I'm going through with the students explaining the activity. You can go in and add an annotation. So if you want to maybe highlight a certain part of maybe a worksheet you have here, you can add a box around the part you want to have somebody pay more attention to. So we can change the color of this outline. Pick something. Okay, and then we can have a spot for it there. We can have a little description. We can change the color of the words so that it shows up well against the background, and I think we can move that description somewhere off to the side. It's best to put it somewhere you can read it easily, especially if you got text on the screen. So if you're trying to highlight something that you want somebody to make note of, you can put a box around it with a spotlight. We could add notes. I think these are typically the ones you see a lot of here on YouTube, is people add these notes, and you can add your note here and it will say just that there on the note itself. And when you add these notes, again, you can change the background color so it stands out. Put it where you want it. And got a couple others here. You can change speech bubble, title on top of things. You can have a label, which is like the spotlight, except it's going to have a spot underneath it to write. I believe I don't use that one too often. You can have when the start and stop times are for the different annotations. So if we want the annotation to be, let's see, this is 4.7 seconds is when it starts. So right where I have it in the video, and then after let's say 10 seconds, we want it to end. We can have it go away. So we can have both of those go for 10 seconds and then they disappear. So I put in two annotations, and down here in the timeline you can see I have both of them, and we can edit those individually so that they will play for the correct amount of time. So I didn't edit this first one, the spotlight, but the second one I added, so it's a little spaced down there because it only goes for 10 seconds. So you can zoom in if you want to get it exact. It helps to see the length of time. So you can go in, you can change the time that that note stays there, or somebody clicks on it, then it automatically goes away. Just make sure that you click apply changes between adding those notes, and then when you play your video, you'll have those different annotations pop up on your screen. So that's a nice little addition, especially if you are recording something and maybe you forgot something, you can add that little note in there. I sometimes have to do that to my videos when I find something I didn't do right, or maybe I goofed on. Just like most videos we see on YouTube, they have some sort of comment there. So I just thought I'd show you. Maybe some of this stuff you already know, but I'm not trying to assume anything here. Other things here that might be interesting. If we go back to my channel here, just some little things. You can change all sorts of stuff on here. Little things like the background header here. you can change your little icon for your YouTube channel. And since my school's the Clark Coyotes, we have my little icon there being a coyote. You can put a link for your page, for your class page, school website. You can add that here. I think edit links. If you click this, you go to edit links. That it will change what this link links to, which I think I need to change mine. No, mine's good. So it'll ask you what to put in that little space, and then the URL for your website. So you can add that in, and then it'll take you to your home page if you would like that to appear there. I also like to show you how to add a video onto your LMS or to your website, which is pretty easy. Again, this may be something you know how to do it. If you don't, then it's here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into one of my playlists, and you can share a whole playlist if you like, if you want everyone to get access and see that on your LMS or your web page. You can share that and go to the embed, and you can actually put that on. Most of the time, you can resize your video right inside the LMS or the web page. Sometimes not, so you might need to change these numbers before you go and to embed that code. And so there's some different sizes here you can choose from. You can put a custom size, but once you get that, then you can grab that URL code, that HTML code, not URL, HTML code, and you can copy and paste that in to your site, or you can do it by individual videos. So you can go on and we can click on that video and we can go to share and embed and get that code just for that specific video. And it will play that video and then other videos after it. So it'll start with that video and then it will continue on. So I can do current video, which is what it's going to do by going to the video itself, or if I wanted to play the whole playlist at the start, I can click that. I go in, I can pick that, and then I can go into my my LMS, and I can go in and put that in. So let's say I want to go in, and we use Canvas at my school corporation. You may be using something else. So it depends what you're using. So I'm going to log into my Canvas account. At the session, there's quite a few of you who are saying you're using this, so this might be helpful. So you can go into your class page, whatever you want to go to. So here I have my design and modeling class, and I have my modules of work, units of work, and I find where I want to put my video. So I'm just going to pick one place. I'm not actually going to put the video in there. So I'm going to put, and wherever you go, whether it's a website or if it's on your LMS, there's probably some sort of editor that you can edit the text and you can edit the HTML code. A lot of the times those are bundled together. So like in Canvas here, when you go and edit one of these screens, you can edit the text. The rich text editor is what we're seeing, or you can do the HTML editor. And that's going to have all this code of stuff that you see on your screen and how it should work. The easiest way to do this and to add this video is go to the very bottom and paste this in. And this code will be down at the bottom. When we click save, what it's going to do is that video is going to be at the very bottom of the screen here. So that is usually true for any sort of website or other things. But so the video is down at the bottom underneath everything else I have. So I could actually drag that up. I can move that around if I needed to. So I can go back to edit here, and most of the time you'll see this gray box. Sometimes it has a little icon in it, tells you it's a video. You could actually drag that around and put it where you need to. You can resize it here, so if I need to make it smaller, I can actually resize it, which, let's see if it's going to cooperate. There we go. And I can manually resize it here. So your website may not work the same. In Canvas, it does tell you the size of the video. And students, they can make it full screen. I usually like to make it small, so it doesn't take up the whole screen. It's not as big as it originally was. It doesn't need to be. So once we go and change that, then I can click Save, and I have my video embedded into Canvas. And as you can see, it's a little smaller now, a little more manageable. You don't have it taking up a whole big spot on the screen. So we're viewing it through my teacher account, so it's going to look different when the students view it, because you won't have all this other stuff going on around the outside of the screen. So that's how you embed into your LMS or a web page. You just need to make sure that you go to the HTML editor and not just the rich text editor, or else all you're going to get is a bunch of code sitting there on your screen not doing any work. So the other things I want to show you are, I showed you the add-on, the Google add-on for the video notes. I'd like to hit on that. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. I'll move this over on the other side of the screen. And bring up my drive, which I'll put right over here. I'm working on two screens, so some of the stuff I'm trying to do is on my other screen, so I'm just recording the one. So again, that video notes is a really cool looking add-on on Google. So when you're in your drive, if you go to New and then go to More, you can have a whole bunch of apps you can have attached to your Google account. Some are free, some are kind of free, some are paid for. So you have your basic ones, Google Forms, Drawings, Google Maps, but then I have all these others. So to get to this video notes, you want to click Connect More Apps, and you can just simply search for that app, and you can add that onto your Google account. And once it finds that, you can connect it, and it may come up with some OK or accept sort of messages to make sure it's OK, it connects to your account. So once you have that account connected to your account, then you'll see it here on this list, which is right here. So once I have my video notes set up, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to get a video URL, and there's all sorts of videos out there we can put on, and the URL is the one up here that you want to connect to. So we can click on the URL if we want to copy and then paste it in here, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to take notes with the video. So I just grabbed any old video. I'm not picking a certain one, but as we go through, we can watch the video, whatever it may be, and this one is an example of a 3D created roller coaster. And as the video is going, you can take your notes here. And what it's doing is it's time stamping that video so that as you're taking the notes, you know where you took that note. And what's cool is that when you click on this, let's see here, it will take you to that particular point in the video. So at 6 seconds, I take notes here, and it's at 6 seconds. Or I can go to 15 seconds, and it'll take me to that part of the video. So I know exactly where I took that note. I can see what's going on. And as a teacher, this could be very valuable because you can have students take notes on certain things, and you can see where they took their notes. You can put questions in at certain points of the video, and the students, they'll be able to skip ahead and skip and see where the questions are, and they can answer those questions. So you can actually make sort of like a worksheet on here where you have your questions, and maybe they have to answer them on a piece of paper, or in their Google account on a doc or something that you share with them. So this basically just takes notes and timestamps. So it could be a student taking notes, or as a teacher, you can put questions on that they then will know where the questions happen to occur. You may like that, you may not. You may think, well, then the student's just going to skip ahead and go to those questions and answer them. Depends on what you're trying to do, so, and how comfortable you are with the class. So once you have the notes and you have everything that you need for the video and it's all time stamped, you'll save that, and what that does is it saves to your Google Drive. So when we go here to our drive, let me see if it comes up. Let's see, because it wasn't working before. Let me reload it. I don't see it here. Let me see. It should make a file that you can then view, and it's actually the video. It's actually a video notes. Appears something is wrong with my video notes. Some token that's not out of order. Authorization token. What's supposed to happen is you should have a folder here, video notes, that will have a file that you can use. So you can share that file with your students if it's questions, or you can go in and you can have them share it with you if it's an assignment where they have to take notes. So they can go in and they can share this. You can change the settings on here and have it shared. So depending on what you're using it for, but it's a very useful tool, either to take notes or have questions there that they'll see when they view the video. So that's a little bit about the video notes. So it's something you can experiment with and try. But again, it should have some sort of file or folder with video notes as its label here. Mine's just not working, so I'll have to work on that. So I think that takes us through many of the things I showed you at the conference session. So if you have any questions, ask me, send an email. I don't know exactly when I'll be able to get back to you. Teaching class and doing all sorts of different things. Maybe a little crazy, but I will try to get back to you if there's a question, something I missed. I'm kind of going through this on my plan period, so I don't have all the stuff sitting in front of me. I thought I'd use this time to make this video, and so if I forgot something, didn't cover something, please let me know.